Coming to you from the M&M Exterior Studio in Knoxville, Virginia, this is Flushing It Out with Samantha Spittle, the introvert's extrovert. She talks to people so you don't have to. For now.
Welcome back to Flushing It Out with Samantha Spittle, the introvert's extrovert. I am here with Carylee Carrington.
Yes.
Welcome.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm great.
Yay.
You know, I'm blessed and highly favored. That's what I can really say right now.
That's awesome. Well, she is a children's author.
Yes.
And all-around amazing woman. So why don't you tell us a little bit who you are?
Well, I am a children's author, but, you know, I'm a mom of two rambunctious, energetic. Like say all the nice and pretty words.
I know.
To say, oh, they are a hot mess.
Yeah. They're a handful. They're adorable, but they're a handful, right? That's everyone's kids, right?
Uh-huh. And yeah, so I'm a mom of two. My eldest is 7, and he will tell you, and because I have told him, you know, he's the one that started all this. Mm-hmm. I got my inspiration to write my first book from him, Everyone Just Like Me, which, you know, he came and asked. This was in kindergarten. Mommy, why can't everyone just be the same? Because he had a friend, you know, tell him that he should be playing with friends that were closer to his skin color. And that didn't sit well with him. And of course, that didn't sit well with us either.
Yeah.
Because we hadn't even gotten on the topic of race.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll get into that a little bit more. Like, okay, you want to know about me, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So, you know, mom of two, I am a digital marketing manager, and, you know, I've been in marketing for some time now, and thankfully I got the opportunity to be able to write this book. I was not working when I started.
You started it. And you also didn't have like a dream to be a children's author. Because
No.
as you just said, your son is kind of what got you
Exactly.
thinking.
Yeah. I had been writing for some time. I've written and published poetry. I've done a few skits and plays. I actually wrote a full blown out play and actually did it in New York some years ago.
What was that play about?
It was an adaptation of The Christmas Carol. It was a church's Christmas Carol.
Oh, I would like to read that script.
Yeah.
I love creative, like re-envisioning whatnot of things.
You know, it was, instead of having, we had the pastor's wife be the Scrooge.
Oh.
That got a little, you know.
Controversial.
Yeah, a little controversial. But it was a comedy.
Yeah.
And even when I wrote that, I didn't know that I could write a comedy.
Oh, well, you know what? If it's based off of real life, then life itself is a comedy. So.
Well, it wasn't even really based off of real life, because every pastor's wife that I've had has been like these calm, not diva-ish pastors' wives. I'm like, I've known a few, but thankfully I haven't had to.
You've known the divas. You just turned her into that character.
Exactly.
That's all.
Yeah. So, it was a very funny play, and, I don't know, hopefully I'll be able to do it again.
That would be great.
A lot of people want me to redo that here in Virginia. So,
so you definitely have had that creative energy flowing through you, even with marketing. I mean, that's a lot of creativity. So you've always sounded like you've had that part of your life.
I always say, you know, if I'm not doing something creative, I would die. The magazine article that came out about me in Gainesville Lifestyle, it says, you know, be the Gainesville's accidental author. And that's what I call myself, because it just really came out of that just one instance. And then it kind of took off, you know, and it's when you find your passion, it's like, you're thinking about that, and things just
It builds, right?
Yeah,
like
it's just been building, and doors have been opening, and just really seeing what has transpired after this. So, you know, with everyone just like me, I started doing some author visits to schools. Mm-hmm. And I was having friends tell me, and even other, teachers in the area tell me, oh yeah, there's so many authors that are in, this area. And I was like, really? I've never heard of them. So my mom was a literacy coach for years in New York City, and she just retired about 2 years ago. But I was talking to her, and then I started thinking, I was like, okay, I don't know these authors. My kids are in school. I would like them to know about these, children's authors that are in their neighborhood.
Yeah, local people.
Yeah. And I was, I would be in Target or at the gym at Lifetime and I started getting spotted by some of these children.
She was at my school.
I went to their school. Her. Yeah. I was walking to go get my kids one day, at Lifetime, and this little girl, she was just like, mommy. And she was there tapping her mother. I was like, she was like, that's the author. And I'm like, hold up, what was going on here? And I was like, hi.
You're like, accidental author, accidental celebrity.
Exactly. And I'm like, wow. Okay, so this is what this is like. Okay. So, I said, I want my children to be able to go like that to me and other children about the other authors I'm being told that are in this area. So that's where the YouTube channel that I just started, the Read with Carylee show, that's where that came from. I knew that I wanted to do something kind of like Reading Rainbow because I was researching and I heard that Reading Rainbow was going to be coming back. Like they were possibly going to reboot Reading Rainbow. I don't know what happened, but I know that they're doing Reading Rainbow reruns. Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, why wouldn't they, bring on something new? Because all those authors that were on Reading Rainbow, my kids are still reading them. Yes, they're classic books, but that's it. They're classic. Yeah. There are some that you will always be able to turn to, Dr. Seuss and everything. But if you have other authors available, why not have them exposed? And a lot of authors now are going the self-publishing route. And that's what I did, because sometimes, you get your book out there, you write your book and you send it to a publisher and it'll sit on the shelf. Yeah. And just like J.K. Rowling, she said that it took 7 years for the first Harry Potter book to come out. Yeah. I wasn't going to wait 7 years for this. Especially because of the message that I wanted to put forth.
That's great. Why don't we go back to that moment? Because now you're on this huge journey that you did not see coming.
Exactly.
And it all goes back to when your son started at school. Yes. And just came home one day.
In kindergarten. Yeah. So, he came home and he said to me, why can't everyone be the same? And I was like, what are you talking about? And she said, why can't we just all be the same? Because my friend told me that I should be playing with that people that look like me instead of, my other friends. And like I said, we hadn't gotten on the topic of race with him. He was 5 years old. Yeah. I wasn't thinking that, okay, well, I need to tell my child about race. Yeah. My mother never had to sit me down and talk to me about, race. And my family is mixed, and my mother is very light skinned because her family is mixed. And so I said to my son, I was like, because, he called them peach and brown. Yes. So he took out the colors in the crayon box. And I said, so what color would you draw grandma with? And he's like, peach. So I said, okay, well, that's my mother. So, and I'm her daughter. So you see that we can all be we can be different and we can all be family still, and we can all be friends. We can all play with each other. We don't have to be the same. So I wanted to kind of, get something to show him that, but I didn't want to delve into race because I don't need to scar my 5-year-old anymore. So, I said, you know what? The idea came of using glasses. And, in the story, everyone just like me, the lead character, Joshua, he thinks that, people are going to make fun of him and his friends won't want to play with him because he has to get glasses. Yeah. And he wishes on a star. Aww. And he wishes that everyone was the same. And he goes to school the next day, sees that everyone's the same, but everyone looks the same. Everyone wants the same things. Everyone wants to play with the same things. Everyone wants to have the same seat. So it's just like all of that confusion. Yeah. And he's just like, okay, well, what if I had a friend that wasn't the same? And the next day, he has that friend that isn't the same, but then everybody is still thinking like him. So they all gravitate to that friend, and that friend becomes kind of the trigger to say, okay, all right, well, you don't want everybody to be, yanking on you because they all are thinking the same thing. Like, it's what makes this world go round is that we all have different skin colors, different hair, different personalities. Yeah. Some wear glasses, some don't, and it's the things that make us different. That's exactly what makes the world go round. Yeah. And that's what, even I went to an author's visit at a school, and they said, well, one of the little boys raised up his hand, and I didn't write this as a religious book, but he said, God made us different so that we would be able to create a better world. And I said, yep. That's exactly.
Way to read between the lines.
Ooh, I wanted to have an amen, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. I was just like, okay, this is a public school. I don't want them to kick me out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's that where, we have to learn to embrace our differences. And that has become my platform from this book as well.
Embrace differences.
Yes. Embracing differences. And that is what builds a stronger community, because we're all different. Even if we have the same skin color, we're still all different. Yeah. And we need to realize that, embrace that. And so from this one idea, from this one book,
one conversation of your son came the book, came up. Oh.
Yeah. And even from that came a song.
Actually, you know what? Connor requested that he was like, she should sing the song while she's here, because we periodically sing it because we went to your book signing.
Yes.
And then we've watched some of your shows.
Yes.
And so I think we were just driving in the car and started singing it. And Connor said, he was the one who originally said, you should have her on.
Yes.
And now he's
Thank you, Connor.
And he said she should sing her song. Oh, and now I sing it in my head.
So you want me to sing the song?
You can sing it. I'll join you.
Okay.
See. You're different.
Well, I'm special.
I can't remember. Yeah, you reteach
I'm
me.
I'm special. You're special. We're different, you and me, because everyone's unique. I'm special. You're special. We're different, you and me, because everyone's unique. Doesn't matter what clothes you wear or the way you style your hair. Doesn't matter about your family, because your difference is unique. I'm special. You're special. We're different, you and me, because everyone's unique. I'm special. You're special. We're different, you and me, because everyone's unique. It doesn't matter if you are a twin. Your difference is within. Doesn't matter if you're a boy or girl. There's no one like you in the world. Stop right there.
Oh my gosh. That is so much more than I knew. Yay.
Well, you know what? Since that I actually wrote the chorus.
Love it.
For the reading at Girani Coffee House. And since then, I've added 2 more verses.
That is awesome.
You know, it was just like, okay, I kept on singing the song and I was like, it needs more. But it's like, I would sing it and then one verse came and then maybe a couple weeks later, another verse came. And that's
awesome.
Like, I think I'm a songwriter now.
You're a songwriter, writer, songwriter.
Yeah.
You are growing.
Yeah. So, you know,
awesome.
There's so many opportunities that have come from that one conversation.
Yes. So crazy how one thing can change. Now you have a second book, Pretty Hair, that just came out.
Yes. This is actually still on pre-order and it will be out everywhere in December on, I believe, December 7th.
All right.
And well, the good thing with the pre-order and what I have said, you know, so that this pre-order is very special because this is I'm only personalizing pre-orders and well, also books that get ordered from schools specifically from me. You could only get the personalization. And also, if you get your books from me, they will be the only ones that have the Read with Carylee sign on it. So this is pretty special because my son actually puts everyone on. He says that he wants to make sure that he is a part of everything that we're doing. And even though he inspired the book, he wants to be basically a part of the company, a part of the organization. So he wants to do his part. So that is his part, you know, to put basically the seal of approval.
Yeah.
The Read with Carylee seal.
That's awesome.
On every book that comes from me. So
that's great.
If you see anybody that does not have the Carylee, the Read with Carylee sign, they probably got it from Amazon or Walmart or BarnesandNoble.com, which I am grateful that, you know, they are selling my book, but it's definitely extra special coming from me.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, how did the concept of Pretty Hair come up?
Well, the concept of Pretty Hair actually came before Everyone Just Like Me. You know, I was kind of playing around with the idea of doing a children's book a couple years ago.
Starting to float around.
Yeah, even before that, even before Everyone Just Like Me. But I don't think I had the confidence in myself. And, you know, I say with Everyone Just Like Me, it came out of necessity.
Yeah.
You know, it became something that I didn't see on the market. And I knew that I wanted my son to have that message. And I said, okay, if I want my son to have that message, there's all the other children. Yes. They need to have that message as well. So that one definitely came out of necessity. And after I wrote Everyone Just Like Me, I went back to the idea of Pretty Hair. And I would say it came from a little bit of my hair journey because I remember when I was in elementary school, like my mother, she gave my sister a perm and I wanted a perm. I wanted my hair straight. I was just like, okay, I need my hair straight. I need my hair silky. I'm like, they had this commercial for PCJ No Lie Relaxer. And they had a song for that too.
And you remember it.
Yeah, yes I do. PC jamming, PC jumping, PCJ No Lie Relaxer. That was what would come on the commercial. And my mom told me that I would be able to get a perm when I was graduating 6th grade because my school went up to 6th grade. Oh. Ooh, that year, I don't know how many times I sang that song.
You're like, I'm counting down.
Yep.
Getting my relaxer.
And the evening before my 6th grade graduation, that's when I got my hair relaxed. And that was kind of a blessing and a curse.
Oh, no.
Because my hair it wasn't this light. It wasn't blonde, but it was like a dirty blonde or like a light brown, like really light brown. So when I started perming my hair started getting darker. And I was just like, okay, I want my hair color.
I want that light color.
Yeah.
Did you like it because it was different? Did it feel like
it was different from everyone else.
To you?
Yeah, it was unique than anyone else. I had the lightest hair in my class. And, my mom loved it because I think her aunts all had that auburn hair, color hair. And she felt that came from her side.
Yeah.
So she liked it too. And I was just like, okay, all right. Well, of course, I've gone natural to perm to natural to perm, back to natural now. A few times. And now I'm just like, okay, I'm sticking with the natural. So
find what works.
So it started out, it was just going to be about, a little African-American girl that needed to embrace her hair. And after I wrote Everyone Just Like Me, I said, you know what? I got the inspiration to kind of, to make it more of, without giving too much away in the book, kind of making it a unifying thing so that we could kind of understand each other and again, embrace our differences.
Yeah.
So the idea and inspiration from Everyone Just Like Me rolled over into Pretty Hair, which is really for every little girl to help them to embrace their hair, embrace their beauty, and know that they don't have to want to be and try to be like everyone else because they're beautiful in their own right.
Yeah. And I like that too because I'm just assuming, because I have yet to read it, but I would think that if it kind of helps people not only feel better about their own hair, but I would hope that if my daughter or son is reading it, they have an understanding of how someone else feels about their hair too.
Yes.
Because if it's not something they think about too much, or if it is, either way, that's what I appreciate about connecting with people and stories and things like that is it just lets you in on someone's world, you know? I always joke I'm like, God knew what he was doing when he gave me my straight hair that needs no care at all because he knows because I have no ability for it, you know? Whether that's true or not, who knows? Because if I had higher hair needs, I would have learned probably, you know. But yeah, but when you realize, when you talk to people and you realize how big a part of life hair is to your identity and your feelings, it's like if someone doesn't share that with you, then you don't understand it.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, and there's a point in the book, and even when I read it back, I kind of get a little... not too emotional, but I kind of read it with an attitude.
Oh,
there's a part in the book. The line is that she even tried to touch it. She even tried to touch her hair, and I'm like,
now. So if people try to touch your hair,
yes,
and that's a thing, and that's
definitely a thing in the African American community. I'm like, even with my sons, I tell them, I was like, don't touch a black girl's hair. Don't do that. If she does not invite you to touch it, do not touch it.
That's one of those PSAs that probably shouldn't need to exist, but does. I mean, it's kind of similar with pregnant women, right? Don't touch. Don't touch.
No. Yeah. Even with the pregnant woman thing, my sisters were pregnant. I'm just like, nope, not touching it. I had my sister take my hand and
you're like,
and I'm like, okay, all right. Well, that's okay if you're taking my hand and telling me to feel, but
if you ask, I had someone ask to feel mine, a friend of mine, after I was newly pregnant, and they were like, and they were starting to touch my stomach, and I was like, that's just fat. This isn't pregnancy belly yet. Why don't we wait until it's bigger and, some round? But when it's just like this, I'm like, you're basically just feeling normal. There's some nice little padding there for you. Why do you think people feel with the hair touching that is okay?
Well, I don't think it's that they think it's okay.
Yeah.
It's so much curiosity around with the different textures, and I've had to learn to embrace the texture of my hair.
Yeah.
But, I think it's a texture thing. Everyone wants to kind of touch and feel.
Yeah.
But
do you think I've heard people make comments, about texture or style? And is that along the lines of like, don't touch? Is it maybe like etiquette rules?
Yeah, I think there possibly does need to be some etiquette rules around touching people's hair. Like if you wouldn't want somebody to just come and, you shouldn't do it to somebody else.
Yeah, it seems like common sense. Yeah. That's why I was asking. But then it's like, well, if it was that common sense, people would not do it.
Yeah.
But I wonder, too, with commenting, like so for bodies, for example. I don't want anyone commenting not only on mine, and now I have a daughter. Like, don't be talking about, oh, look at her little belly. Like,
Yeah.
No. And does hair, you think, does that go in the same category? Would you put that in the same category? Because my daughter has red hair, and my son, now it's auburn, and hers is dirty. Like a strawberry blonde, but we joked when our daughter was born, we unknowingly got into the red hair club, which the red hair club, it's like a secret society. Once you're in, then you suddenly, you see people in the store, like Jeremy and I, there was a redhead in the cart and then a non-redhead dad pushing her. And we like made eyes like, you too. Like it was like solidarity, like I'm with you. We have the redhead kid because we get all the same questions. Where did the red come from? And there's this whole list. And, it's if the parent has red, it's obvious. I don't know if they get as many questions, but if you don't have the red hair, I mean, it's like this whole thing that until I went there. And so then people comment on the hair all the time. And I thought it was great because I think their hair is gorgeous and I love it. But it wasn't until she came home from school one time.
And then someone was
And it was the whole different thing. Yeah. It was that like, everyone else has brown and blonde hair,
Yep.
And I'm the only different one. It's then, pull out my Everybody Just Like Me book.
Oh, she's going to love this book.
Pretty hair
she's
now.
She's going to love this book now.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
See? But yeah, and I didn't expect that because we just talked so like, oh yeah, you're different. Yeah. That's awesome. We just from the beginning and it kind of, it did take me by surprise, I think, when I thought, oh, what? You're insecure? But people talk about it and it's like until that I never thought, oh, I don't know. Like I said, we wouldn't talk about our bodies like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like sometimes hair, people are removed from it, but it's a part of you. So it still is a big identity piece.
I think, there's the identity things about all of us.
Yeah.
Even my son is left-handed. Everybody else is right-handed.
Yes.
And I didn't have, I remember like when I was growing up, they would try to make you write with your right hand.
Yeah.
Because everybody is supposed to be the same. No. Okay. So my mom is left-handed. So I had to be having conversations with my mom like, okay, how do I get him to cope with it? Because his teachers, they weren't trying to force him to write with his right hand, but like there were some things that he wouldn't get with the handwriting that they were trying, like they were trying to teach all of the kids, but they were teaching all of the kids with the right hand standards. So I had to, thankfully my mom was a teacher.
Yeah.
And I had to get that from her. To be able to help him cope with that.
I never would have even thought of that, It's once again, until you have that experience or know someone, you just don't even.
Exactly.
Why would you think a different hand? We were just talking about Ehud, the left-handed judge. They just did that for his other podcast. And,
okay.
One of the guys in their group that talk about it is left-handed. And he said his dad showed him that like book from the Bible. Like, see, this guy's left-handed. And the only way this whole story works out is because he's left-handed.
Yeah.
So it's like the go left-hander story.
Yes. Absolutely.
So what takeaway message would you say? I think you've already covered it with being different, but kind of one overarching message of your books, your YouTube show, and just everything you're about. You said it before, your platform, so reiterate that again.
So my platform is Embracing Difference, and I am actually, I'm hoping that there'll be another 2 books coming out with the same platform, Embracing Difference. And, really it is trying to teach everyone that our differences make us great. It's not that everybody needs to assimilate to the same things. And especially, and this actually came out of the same timing around the political climate.
Yeah.
And we are seeing where people are being treated badly because of their differences. And it's just like, okay, we were all made by one creator. So, we need to embrace our differences. You go on vacation to go to experience different cultures.
Yeah.
I can't really go to the beach in Virginia and experience the same things that I would the beach in Hawaii or Jamaica. So everything that is different about us really makes us great. And I think in teaching our children this message, it will help to deter bullying. It will help them to be kind. And instead of picking on someone because of what is different about them, say, oh, can I learn about what is different about you so that I can understand it better? And that's really, part of the lesson in Pretty Hair, hey, I might like what's different about you, but am I exploring it in the right way?
Oh,
yeah.
That's a good one. Am I exploring it in the right way?
Yes.
That's great. So I was thinking about the books, and I love what you said earlier. I love what you said about being born from necessity.
Yes. And
I think that most great things come from that, right? And so I love the idea of like representation, right?
Yes.
That we need more. That's why we need more representation. Because if you
absolutely.
So for me, being, I feel like a regular middle-class white woman, I've been represented a lot. So what made me kind of have the change was the plus-size models, being a curvier woman, and I think it took a while where it was like, oh, now that I see more, this is what they're talking about, because the standard of beauty isn't that I have to be a size 2.
Yes.
And once,
or now a 0. What's
yeah,
that?
Yeah, a negative 0. But I think that it's one of those things that for so long, it was like, oh, whatever. I just didn't think about it. Like, oh, I know we can all be different, like body size and things like that. And we look different in different races and stuff. But I think in the last few years, just because there's a lot more popular plus size models, it started to click in my head of, oh, now that I see more plus size models, I don't feel as different being on the curvier side.
Yes.
And I thought, holy moly, if I feel that just about my body, I feel like I am not at a place to comment on it. But it's like if I could have that little aha moment, I feel like, man, I want more and more diversity, inclusion, things like that, because I want other people to feel seen. But then more importantly, I want my kids to see.
Yeah.
I remember I'd asked you before, just when we were chatting about why didn't you have the difference be race in the first book? And you addressed it, I think, earlier with kind of just...
Yeah, it was just too early.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we need to start having, some of the baby steps. Like if you teach your children that, okay, well, it's okay, to have different hair, or it's okay to like different types of things. The race thing won't be such of a blow. But if you just start, okay, bam, we're all different. We have all different skin color and, yada, yada, yada. Like that may just be like, okay, all right. That may give kids a complex.
Yeah. Oh,
in talking to somebody of a different race, so. Like
they would get stuck too much on it, you think?
I think it would, get too much of... like that is the main difference that we all have. No, it's not the main difference that we all have.
Yeah.
We have little differences. We all have little differences. We all have little quirks. And if you're teaching that we all have the differences, then race won't be a big one. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you tackling it and, having that necessity for your personal life, because like you said, if you felt it, other people have felt it.
Yes.
And so thank you for helping not only your own family, but ours and lots of others as well, kind of start tackling those differences that we can talk about.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And I appreciate you coming back.
Yes, absolutely.
And bringing your new book. And so everybody just like me, and the new one coming out in December is Pretty Hair.
Yes. And
where can people find you?
Yes, you can definitely find me at readwithcarylee.com.
And that's Carylee.
Yes. Readwithcarylee.com. These books are, Pretty Hair will be available on Amazon in December. You can pre-order it now. And like I said, if you pre-order it, you will be able to get your book personalized. I do still sign the books after that when they come from me, but I am making the personalization special. So if you want it inscribed to your child, I've even had a friend want it to be inscribed to his future child. I've had friends, had it inscribed to their future grandchildren. So, this is definitely a book to add to your collection. And yeah, it'll be everywhere. Everyone just like me is on major online retailers, Walmart.com, BarnesandNoble.com, Amazon.com, and a couple other .coms that I've seen out there. But if you want to get it signed by me, go to readwithcarylee.com/books.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
And that's a wrap for now.
Thanks for listening to Flushing It Out with Samantha Spittle. Music provided by twinmusicom.org. Song titled Night at the Dance Hall. Sound editing by me, Jeremy Spittle. A special thanks to our studio sponsor, M&M Exteriors. Visit their website at mmexteriors.com for all of your roofing, siding, and gutter needs in the Northern Virginia area. Visit our website at flushingitout.com and be sure to subscribe. This has been a Spitfire production.
That was the greatest thing I've ever heard.